So a lot of times trigger points and tender points can get mixed up, but tender areas, and now this is why we need those old school diagnosing tools in fibro, because we have the 11 to 18 tender areas of the body, like the upper traps, like the scalenes here on the side of the neck. How many of you are feeling it right now, in fact, right? So some doctors and therapists want to get away from that. I'm like, no. A lot of us who've been living with this for a long time, we're diagnosed that way as one diagnosing tool. It's important because we don't want to get misdiagnosed. Now, the difference between trigger points and tender points, talk about this all the time, but it's so important because people get it all convoluted. Trigger points, they occur around muscle and connective tissue. And always, if you see me in videos, I always do like the little connect the dot game. That's what a trigger point is. Now, what does it do? It radiates, right? Tender points don't radiate. They just feel very tenderized, like you're pounding a steak, right? They don't radiate. Trigger points do. And we have more trigger points, whereas tender areas, we have about 11, 18 areas. Why do I say tender areas versus points? Because let's take the knee. See my little drawing of the knee right there? How many of you have tender points around the knee? But it's not just like one pencil point. It's like inside of the knee, internal, external, might be down your patellar tendon area, might be in the back of the knee. And that's why I said very vulnerable areas. So those 11 to 18 tender areas are the more vulnerable areas, like the scalenes, like the upper traps, really common elbows. You like me and you have these elbows, you're just like, what is that, right? The knees, the lower back. A lot of us have migraineurs, or we have occipital pain. Very tender there as well. So again, we have this in our website, but I feel like it's so important because people often get those mixed up. Trigger points radiate, tender points don't. But it's very important for diagnosing that we understand this. Also to have more effective treatments. So follow along again at livingsmarterwithfibromyalgia.com and our Facebook page as well. And really, understand this because it's so important. Like when we are talking about diagnosis, it's important to be properly diagnosed, properly treated as well. Not just throw a bunch of medications at it. That just doesn't work.